Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today, I will be welcoming a lady who is a dancer and an actress. Her name is Monique Mannen. She was the girl in the Prince video for Kiss, the classic video from 1986. She was in A Chorus Line, the movie. I don't know if she did the play. I'm going to ask her if she did the play. She was also in the first Weinstein Brothers movie, or I think it was the second. Yeah, because The Burning was first. Playing for Keeps. And she was also in Spike Lee's School Daze. And a lot of you out there know her as the boring girl in Coming to America. You know, when Eddie and Arsenio are in the club looking for his future princess bride, and she's very into herself and talking about herself and what she wants to do in life. You know, I want to be a pop singer and an actress. I want to produce my own songs, all that stuff. And so I'm having her on the show today to talk about all that. Also, I want to say I feel really bad for Mark Maron because he lost Lynn Shelton, his partner in life, and I wrote him an email the other day. I hope he reads it after he gets caught up mourning her and stuff. You know, I feel really bad because if you listen to that interview they did back in 2015, they sound so much in love, and eventually they did fall in love a few years later. And he was always talking about her on WTF and stuff, and I just want to offer my condolences to Mark Maron and say rest in peace Lynn Shelton, because that's devastating. Also rest in peace Fred Willard, one of the great comic actors of all time. No one could play dumb in movies and television like he could. So yeah, here is my interview with Monique Mannen. Hi, Monique.
Hey, dear.
Welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am pretty good, pretty good. This is such a wonderful honor. Thank you for taking the time today.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for reaching out to me. That was so much fun. You know what? You have gotten me on this freaking nostalgia journey, and I'm writing down, the things that I've done, especially when you said, tell me, the story where you started, and I'm like, oh, my goodness. And it's like, stuff I completely forgot about, and there's a lot I still forgot about. It was fun. It was really fun going through that little nostalgia journey.
Nice, nice. Well, I'm going to make it easy for you, so you have nothing to fear.
Hey, so just a question to you quick. What made you start doing this?
About 5 years ago, I had a really bad car accident, and I spent 30 days in a coma. And yeah. And after a long recovery process, I decided that I wanted to pursue showbiz after I had been dabbling in stand-up comedy and acting for a long time. And long story short, my mother and I, we were destitute for a long time, and then things turned around. We moved up here to Redding, California, a place we could afford. And I said, okay, there's nothing out here, no show business or anything. I'm going to start a podcast. And that's what I did.
Oh, my God. I am so happy I'm on your podcast. I like you.
Oh, thank you, thank you. It's still early yet, though.
But still, seriously,
Yeah.
I'm doing a show called Tell Me Your Story, right? And it's
right.
like, and I have learned, and once you get, I have learned, because I got sick for 3 years myself, and I went through my journey, and in that journey, I found out that, first you do your pity party, right? As you know.
Right.
I mean, all that stuff, and then you realize that every freaking body has a story. Everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I've done, 820 episodes, and I've heard everyone's story. It's amazing.
Isn't it amazing? Oh, fun. Good for you, man. Good for you.
Thank you so much. So, going back in time, did you gravitate toward dancing and acting early on in your childhood?
Oh my goodness, I have been dancing since I'm 6 years old, and I've always been like a ham.
Mm-hmm.
Always been a ham, it's like in case something, electricity went down or the DJ was, leave it to Monique to entertain people, I've always been like that, and it was not because I wanted the attention. It was just natural for me. It's like, showtime, yay, let's laugh, let's have a good time, and then from 6 years old, I started taking ballet classes, and I don't know if you know, but I'm not American. I was born in Suriname and was raised in the Netherlands.
I didn't know that, no.
And I started my dance career in the Netherlands at the dance academy at 12 years old because I really knew that's what I wanted to pursue since I was 6 years old. And my mom is a very intellectual and, wanted me to pursue, an intellectual career too. I was like, no, Mom, I'm not going to get a degree for you to put on your wall. This is what I want to do. I want to dance.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would get on a bus. We were living in a real small town in the Netherlands. And I would go every day after school, get on the bus for 30 minutes to go to the biggest city, even though it was still small, and the dance academy there, the children's dance academy there. And next thing I know, I went to Amsterdam, where I continued with Benjamin Felixstoel there. I started dancing on TV shows, and it's very young. I'm only 15 now.
Yeah.
And I started working at 15 already, and then I won a dance contest. And it was the Saturday Night Fever Dance Contest. I'm smiling and cheesing about it because best of times. And the prize was a trip to New York. That's how I wound up in New York.
Wow. And are you trained in every type of dancing?
Oh, yeah. I went to New York and I got scholarships. First I got the third company from Alvin Ailey, but because I didn't have a green card, so they couldn't take me on legally. And so then I got a scholarship from them, and I also got a scholarship at Joffrey Ballet, at Martha Graham, and I was doing all three at first, wear myself out. I literally was going, because I don't know if you know New York, but Ailey was on 50th Street and Broadway, Martha Graham was 63rd and Lexington, and Joffrey Ballet was 18th Street and 9th Avenue, and I was walking everywhere.
Nice.
And then I would walk home because I was staying at the Vanderbilt YMCA on 227 East 47th Street. I still know the address. And then I would work there. I would work as a receptionist at the hospitality desk. And exhausted. And I was like, okay, something got to give. So I gave up Joffrey Ballet and Martha Graham because at Alvin Ailey you get everything. You get the ballet, you get the Martha Graham, you get everything. So that's when I decided just to stick with Martha Graham, with Alvin Ailey.
Wow. And when you got to New York, did you decide that you were also going to be an actress?
Well, that was a graduate thing. I've always loved dancing because when I went to New York, the pearly gates of dance haven't opened up for me. I saw Alvin Ailey perform. I saw Dreamgirls on Broadway. I saw Bob Fosse's dancing. Oh, my goodness. I was like, oh, this is it. I have to be here. I have to be here. So I fell in love, and knew this was the right thing. I was underage. My mom was like, you cannot stay there. You're underage. And I was like, well, Mom, I have to. And she tried to scare me. And she said, but Monique, I'm not going to support you. So you need to come back. So I said, fine, I get a job. And when she realized that I wasn't coming back, that's when she started helping me financially as well. And then I did start dancing with concert dancing, the concert dancing world. And I remember there was one dancer there that had given 20 years of her life to dance. She's done, name it, she's done it, even on Broadway and everything.
Right.
And she couldn't pay her bills. And I was like, oh, okay. No. I loved it. I'm sorry, my puppy is my doorbell.
It's okay.
Sorry about that. And I was like, no. As much as I love dancing, but no, I'm not going to give 20 years of my life, and then I have nothing to show for it. So that's when I started doing commercial work. I started doing movies.
Yeah.
And videos, music videos, like I did a Billy Joel video and a cameo video.
Of course.
Oh, wait, and then I did a movie, and I couldn't believe it because I looked it up. It was my first film. It was, where is it? I wrote it down. Shoot, where is it? Oh, it did Macy's Thanksgiving Parade.
Uh-huh.
And Phoebe Newworth was also one of the dancers. And remember, she became famous on Frasier.
Cheers and Frasier. Yeah.
And then I did the movie Playing for Keeps, and I couldn't believe it. It was directed and produced by Bob and
Harvey Weinstein.
I did not know. I forgot.
I got that all written down. I'm going to ask you about that. But before, I wanted to ask you, you played a dancer in the movie version of A Chorus Line, but did you do it on Broadway also?
No, because at the time when I was in New York, there was not. The only one that they had was the Puerto Rican.
Uh-huh.
And I couldn't sing. I could not sing for nothing. So even if I couldn't get a Broadway job. I could not get a Broadway job because of my singing. I remember I auditioned for West Side Story.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like all excited when they were like, I could see the producer like, yes, we got Anita. And then I started singing, and they couldn't even hide their disappointment. They were like, oh my God, she can't sing. Thank you. And that was the end.
Yeah, I've interviewed the Asian girl who was in the Chorus Line, Jan Gann Boyd.
Oh, I love Jan. She's such a sweetheart.
Yeah, she's so funny too. Yeah, she told me it was like nearly 2 years preparation for that movie.
Let me tell you, that movie was a blast. Was the best of time because all the talent that was on that freaking movie. We would go downstairs to the rotunda, they called it, and there was like all, Candy, what's Candy's name? Candy Alexander. Candy Alexander is, she's huge roles in films and TV right now. And Michael Jackson would come and sit in the balcony in the dark and just watch the dancers dance, watch us dance. And then we all would like perform for one another. Like there was this dancer from Solid Gold, the show Solid Gold. Remember, there was a couple dancers, and they would do the Solid Gold number. It was hilarious. And the Broadway dancers, they would do their Broadway numbers. Candy Alexander would show how she would audition, would go to the table, booty first, on top of the producers, and say hi. It was just a big party. It was just a big party with just so many amazing dancers and so much talent in one space. It was electrifying.
Yeah, it's always been one of my favorite musicals because it's a great commentary on getting into show business, Have
you ever seen the film Every Little Step? It's the documentary on the making of the return of Chorus Line to Broadway.
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, you must watch it. It's amazing. It's amazing. Well done. They did a great job with that. Great job.
I'll check it out. Yeah. What was Richard Attenborough like?
Richard Attenborough, he was very quiet spoken. I remember I had like a little spotlight on that I had to do 4 pirouettes and hitch, kick, boom, back. And he came up to me. He said, "Monique, darling, let the animal come out a little later. Just a little soft in the beginning, and then just let the animal out at the end."
Yeah. I talked to a dancer the other day who auditioned for A Chorus Line, the movie, too, because he had done the international tour. And he was in Dreamgirls on Broadway. Richie Abanes.
Oh, don't know. But I'm sure I know, but I don't know. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Funny story about Chorus Line.
Mm-hmm.
I was touring in Israel as a lead in this show called Dancing in the Street. Mm-hmm. And by the time I came back to New York, they were on the 8th callback for the movie. And I was like, well, that's ridiculous because if I would have been in New York, I would have been at the 8th callback. So I went. And New York, they're very strict about the auditions. There's a table, there's a gatekeeper. And I went straight up to the table and I said, "Hi, Monique Mannen." And she looked down on the list. She said, "You're not on the list." I said, "But I should be," with a very straight face because I believed in my whole heart that if I would have been in New York, I would have been there. And she let me in.
Nice.
You let me in, but wait, and then you have to watch out because in New York, there was a casting director named Hughes Moss, and they were like the Broadway Babies casting directors. And they had given away one gig because I had auditioned for for Cotton Club, and I got the job. They told me stay out of the sun and see you in the fall. And next thing I know, I bump into Malcolm X's daughter, because she did it. And I was like, hey, did you hear from them? When are we starting? She said, Monique, I started 3 weeks ago. I'm like, what? So I called the casting director, and they gave my job away. So when Chorus Line happened, I was like, oh, no, you guys are not going to give my job away this time. I called them every day. When we starting? I'm like, I'm not going away. You're not giving my job away this time.
Oh, boy. So how did you get to do the classic music video for Prince's Kiss?
I auditioned for it. And mind you, the gentleman that choreographed it, Louis Falco, also had a scholarship with him. And the first thing he said, and I have to be honest with you, I worked my butt up when I was in New York. I mean, dance, classes, boom, boom. I'm on, just striving to be the best, right?
Right.
And then when I moved to L.A., at that time, the level of dancing was not as high, so the competition was not as much. You know what I mean? It was not as much as it was in New York. So I became very relaxed with my, staying on top of it with dance classes. I literally used jobs to keep me in shape. Mm-hmm. The first thing he said in rehearsal to me, he was like, what happened with you?
Yeah.
Like I haven't been in class.
Yeah. How long did it take to film?
It was 2 days, and we were shooting it on the same sound studio as Smooth Criminal was shot. Smooth Criminal was shooting right next to us.
Wow. And yeah, and then a couple of years later, you were in his movie Graffiti Bridge. Yes,
another funny story there.
Yeah.
My ex-boyfriend was the assistant director, and Prince was looking at pictures to decide who he was going to call for. And my ex-boyfriend told him, he said, you already work with her, don't send for her. And he was like, yeah, send for her. I want her. And so there you go. Here's an ex-boyfriend trying to be evil. Didn't work.
Yeah. I interviewed Prince's keyboard player, Dr. Matt Fink, last year, and he told me that he was, he was different from the time that they met all the way till he became a superstar and stuff,
You know what? I've heard crazy stories, experiences from people. I have nothing but amazing experience with him. I remember, because when I met him, all the work that I've done with all those people, all these celebrities, it didn't matter to me. To me, it was a job. This is what I do to make a living. And one thing I'm sorry about that I didn't take pictures, because at that time I didn't care. It was like it was a gig. Hey, how you doing? I'm Monique. Let's go. Let's shoot it. And I introduced myself just like that to Prince. Hey, how you doing? Looking forward to working with you. And he looked at me, and then he was fine. So he would come over, come to and talk with me. And then he would disappear. Then would come over, talk, and just we were very comfortable like that, But he would disappear too, And you would literally be in a conversation with him, turn your head, turn back to finish the sentence, and he was gone.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
Playing for keeps now.
Yeah.
So did anything weird happen on that set with Harvey?
No, you know what? I don't even remember it. I don't even remember meeting Harvey. I really don't. The one thing, I don't even remember the song of Billy Joel that I did. I don't even remember the song. I do remember, I have to tell you this one, I do remember meeting Mick Jagger, because it was between me and Ray Don Chong for the lead in his video.
Oh, yeah, Running Out of Luck?
Yeah, so I met him in person. We sat for half an hour and talked, just talked. He wanted to get to know me. He wanted to see the chemistry, and we just talked. But, I was too young. I was like freaking 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really very classy, soft-spoken guy too. Very relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
When you're young, you have no clue. Not till later on I realized that was freaking Mick Jagger that I met like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's good. At least there was a good experience there with the Weinsteins, you know.
Yeah, no, I don't remember it. Honest to God, because I don't think they had anything to do really, because it was the choreographer audition you, and they probably look at pictures and pick out the pictures who they want, yes or no. So I don't remember even having an interaction. I must have, because he was the director. They were the director, so I must have, but I don't remember.
Oh, that's good, at least. You were in Sting's video for We'll Be Together.
Yes.
I love that one.
And I met his wife. What a great lady. Yes.
Yeah, it's still one of my favorites. It cracks me up just the way he dances in that video.
Barry Lather is a genius. Barry Lather, he choreographed that. Really, yeah, that was a fun job. Fun. Great memories. I just have only great memories of everything I've done.
Rebby Jackson Plaything.
Yeah.
Yeah, how was she to work with?
Sweet as can be, and that was Paul Abdul. Paul Abdul choreographed that, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And sweet as can be, just the sweetest lady. Just very gracious. Just really lovely lady, and very shy, but very lovely.
Is Paula Abdul good to work with?
Oh, sweetheart! I mean, Paula Abdul is fantastic, and I remember when I met her for the first time, and she was like, "Oh, I can't wait to work with you. I love you." When I saw you in Kiss, and then I went to the next audition from her, and I didn't get it, and then I went to the second one, didn't get it. So the third time, I'm like, I'm not going. And so my agent called me. Why didn't you go? I said, because she's not going to hire me. And he said, but Monique, she keeps asking for you. I said, no, I didn't get the last two. And so then Paula called. She said, no, come please. So then we started working from then on.
Nice.
Yeah. And coming to America with her as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I danced and acted in it.
Oh, yes. My earliest memory of you was in Coming to America. I just love that scene. It's hilarious. To me, you and the girl who says that she's into the group thing were the best potential candidates.
You know what? It's so funny. It's like that little role, that small part, I would get recognized no matter what country, what city I would go in.
Yeah.
And people would recognize me from that and come up to me like, that's you, that is you.
Yeah. I mean, I personally love women who talk about themselves, you know, and, you know, you're credited as boring girl. To me, she's not boring. She's just full of herself and very ambitious.
And mind you, when we were shooting it, John Landis was next to the camera, just mouthed to me, faster. And I was like, oh my God.
Was John Landis good to work with?
Yes, he was. As a matter of fact, he gave me this part because I was up for, it was between me and Vanessa Bell for the princess.
Oh.
Yeah, so they gave me that role. That was like a consolation prize, I guess.
So it was almost you to do that. Ooh.
Yes. Yeah. And the casting director, Jackie Birch, I got quite a lot of jobs with her. So major shout out to Jackie Birch.
Yeah. Was Eddie and Arsenio good?
You know what? I did not do the scene with neither one of them because they ran out. I worked one day and they ran out of time. Mm-hmm. So I had to do my scene basically to John Landis going faster.
Huh.
Sitting across from them. Nope.
That's interesting. Yeah, that happens sometimes. You know, the people that you're supposed to be in the scene with can't be there or something, and so they just do that. They shoot the stuff separately. You know.
But it was also John Landis that really wanted that role, that part in it, and he fought for that. He was like, "No, I really want to get that part in there," and so they recreated that when they were somewhere else, and shot that scene real quick.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you know they made a second one.
I can't wait to see it.
Yes, they should have. They should have asked you to come back though, and maybe, say something like, "Oh, here's my Oscar, here's my Grammy, my Golden Globe, my Pulitzer Prize. I'm retired now. I spend my days playing golf, going boating, horseback riding. That would have been great."
A friend of mine, I've had a lot of people say that I should have been back on the second one. But one of them gave me a funny scenario, and they were like, it would have been hilarious if all the women came back and they all tried to hit on his son.
Yeah.
The old butt.
Would have been a little creepy, but yes, that would have been hilarious. You did the Spike Lee movie School Daze. How was that experience?
That was interesting. That was very interesting because Spike really wanted to create, even off-scene, the whole rivalry.
Yeah.
Put the light skin, the nicer hotel, and then the dark skin. So he just put that tension on even off-screen, and I couldn't relate to it. I really couldn't relate to it, but it really there was really a lot of upset and hurt people on behind the scenes about it, and I didn't understand it until later on when they were filling me in that, people really live that. They really live that, because they're darker, even by their own people being discriminated against.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that. And so I would just say to them, I said, look, we're shooting a movie. Just shoot it. It's just a movie. But for a lot of people, it was not just a movie. It was their life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I heard that three different colleges rejected the movie being shot there because they didn't like the way that black students were portrayed or something.
Yeah, but that is nuts. That is nuts, though. That's absolutely nuts. I really think that a lot of copycats came out after School Days, because a lot of the step movies that came after, School Days, he opened up a door for a lot of movies after that.
Yeah. I love the name Gamma Ray Monique Mo Freak.
that was Crazy Spike, yes. Crazy Spike giving me that name.
Yeah.
Gee, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. Mom, why was your name Mo Freak, Mom? Call Spike. I don't know. That's the name he wanted to give me.
Yeah. You worked with another comedy legend, Carl Reiner, on Burt Rigby, You're a Fool.
Yes. That was another one that I forgot about. I did. And now it's slowly coming back, because I remember we did this dance scene and we were in period pieces, I've always been a huge admirer of him, because I've had people that have worked with him, and he is such an actor-director. He really is about the dialogue, and he would do sometimes, would take hours on just a couple of lines, because he really wanted to get it right. I mean, that's why in his project you don't see his actors act at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard him say it's his favorite movie he's ever directed.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was
I'm going to go see it again just because of it, because I don't remember the whole storyline and everything, but I do remember being in this dance hall and shooting that scene.
Yeah. He said it was a very special movie to him. But yeah. And then, oh my God, you were in one of my favorite comedies of all time, The Adventures of Ford Fairlane.
Jackie Birch gave me that.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie Birch again. That woman has been so great to me, Jackie Birch. So shout out to Jackie Birch. She totally gave me that job, because we went to the set for the callback, and there was 10 women, and I was the only woman of color. So she was like, "You hiring her? I don't care what you're doing, but you hiring her." And they had no choice, so I got the gig. And you know who was the other girl? Remember, she was on the.
That's
hilarious.
Pamela. Back then, she was Pamela Siegel. Now she's Pamela Adlon.
Yes, she's hilarious.
Oh.
That's who she is.
Oh, God.
She's that girl.
Yeah, she's the queen of wisecracking, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I've interviewed a couple of her personal friends who are actresses and stuff, and they tell me they just, oh God, laugh out loud all the time with her. You know, she needs a bar of soap in her mouth. She's that hilarious.
Yeah, that's who she is, and she's hilarious being her.
Yeah. You girls were Josie and the Pussycats.
Yeah.
How was working with Daze?
He's a cool guy, man. I'm really sorry that he got that flag with the MTV madness. I'm really sorry about that because he's a comic, man. He's a comic. You know, don't tell a comic, don't curse, don't do this, don't do that, do that. Right?
Yeah.
They're gonna retaliate. They're like, you know what? F that. Boom. I'm Daze. And he gave him Daze. And then he got, blackballed because of that. Sadly. Because he's talented. Very talented man. Nice guy.
Yeah, you could say fuck, Monique. I said you could say fuck.
I know. He is hilarious, though. No, I like him. He's really. I haven't met anybody that I work with that I'm gonna say like, oh, what a jerk. I'm sorry, my dog.
It's okay.
What a jerk or whatever. Not once. I had maybe one or two experience that the maybe a little standoffish, but never rude.
Yeah. And also, Maddie Corman, who played Zuzu Pedals, she's been on this show a bunch of times. I love her. She's great. So you worked with Robert Townsend on the 5 Heartbeats.
Oh, cute story about that. He gave me that. On a silver platter. He gave me that. I had sent him a picture resume, and I wrote a note saying, like, in the future, if there's the part that I'm right for, would love the opportunity to audition for you. And I got a call from my agent that, to audition for him. I'm sorry, my dog. I'm so sorry. And but she's so darn cute. You want to eat her up. I went to the audition, and I was the first person there, and I'm like, okay, can I have the script, please? He said, no worries, Monique, just wait right there. Next thing you know, everybody goes in the room, and then he goes, welcome, everybody. This is the cast of the 5 Heartbeats. That's how I got the job.
Wow. Yeah, to me, he's an innovator who should get more recognition.
Yeah, but also, you know what I love about him? He doesn't play the games. There's a lot of people that I believe hype, and they make people go through hoops to try to get a job. Oh, come for a callback, come to another callback, and Robert just sees it in his head, visions the roles in his head, and have you seen the making of the 5 Heartbeats?
I haven't seen the making of it, no.
Watch it. It's good. It's really good. It's really good, and really comes some light to why the movie never really blew up as it deserved to have blown up.
Yeah.
Because the bureaucracy and all the bull. And I'm sorry. Let me get.
It's okay. I've had birds in the background. I've had lots of stuff in the background.
So when I went to the premiere, when you do the job, you're like, okay, this is fun, this is cute. But when you went to the premiere, that's when I really was like, oh my goodness, I am part of something so special. That movie is so special.
Yeah, is it a recent documentary they made?
Yeah, it just came out last year, if I'm not mistaken. It's called The Making of the Heartbeat. And do you know my daughter, who's 15, it's one of her favorite movies. She listens to the soundtrack over and over and over again.
Oh, that's sweet.
And then there was a part of it that they cut out that I did that was hilarious. You know when I made the choir boy, and I'm like, I don't know who he is, but later on in the movie, he falls in love with me and then realized he accidentally winds up in my bedroom. And I had a shrine auditorium of me and him getting married, of me and him on a swing, and voodoo stuff, and snakes, and all kinds of stuff.
Oh my God.
My daughter asked me, why didn't they keep that? I said, it's called the 5 Heartbeat. It's not the 5 Heartbeats and their girlfriends. It's called the 5 Heartbeat. So the story about the boys, the 5 Heartbeats is more important than their girls.
Yeah. And then you finally did a horror movie called The Fear.
Yes. And that one, I just love how a lot of the jobs that I've gotten. Vincent Roberts came to see me in a play called For Colored Girls. And we wound up winning the NAACP Theater Awards for that. And he vowed that he was going to work with me. And, he called me in, and I did that role.
Nice. Yeah. Was it a good experience overall?
It was a great experience overall. It's just sadly because it really had great people in the cast, but they ran out of money. And then you can see in the movie how they ran out of money because it became like a very cheap horror film. When it started off right, really, it started off really good, and then they're just like, okay, we got to just get it in the bag, and so we can put it out, and the cheap horror tricks came out, and it was like, oh gosh, that one it was not one of my proudest films, but it's not their fault because they ran out of money.
Mm-hmm. Which happens occasionally when you make a low budget movie.
Yeah, but Vincent was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful guy. Really wonderful.
It was Vince Edwards' last movie.
Was it his last movie? He hasn't done anything after that?
No, he died about a year later.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he died in 96.
Wow. Do you know how he died?
I can't remember what it was. It may have been cancer or something. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Wow, Tommy, you really are smacking me up the head right now.
Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry.
Oh, wow.
You're the first person I've talked to who had a good experience working with him, too.
Really? The other people didn't have a good experience with him?
No, they said he was kind of grouchy.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't have that experience. I did. You know what? And you remember what I said? I go in there. Let's do the gig. I don't. You know. You know what I mean? I don't have to be all in the person's face and be all lovey-dovey with them. Let's just do the gig.
Right. I'm guessing that these people, they probably kind of geeked out on him because he's Ben Casey, So I'm sure it was probably that scenario. But you just were all business. You went in, did the job, and left.
Yeah. No wonder I hadn't heard from him anymore. No wonder.
Yeah.
So his girlfriend was the makeup artist, and I stayed in touch with his girlfriend, and then we lost touch, and wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I never knew. I never knew that. Wow.
Yeah.
Please hear that.
Well, you have to remember this was just before the internet, and you had to watch Entertainment Tonight to find out if someone died.
Wow. And he was young too when he died. That was young. He was a young man.
He was 67.
Infant?
Oh, you're talking about the director, not Vince Edwards, the actor.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying Vincent Roberts is the one that passed away, the director, or the actor?
Oh, no, the actor Vince Edwards, he passed away the next year.
Oh, okay. And what role did he play? I don't remember him then.
He played his name. Oh, he was Uncle Pete in the movie. It's been a long time since I've seen it. I don't remember it in depth, but I did see it a long time ago, and he played the uncle.
Okay, so I was talking about the director. You were talking about the actor. Gotcha.
Oh no, Vincent Robert is still alive and he's still working. I see it here on IMDb.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I'm so happy to hear that.
Oh, sorry.
Woo!
We got it all mixed up. So did you leave the business for a while and then come back?
Well, the thing is, you know what? When I did that movie, Rented Lips with Robert Downey Jr. and his dad, Robert Downey Sr., directed it.
Yeah.
And I remember we were like cattle, like, can we have the dances, please? And we'd be in one big room. It was cold and damp. And then I had my first acting job, and it was for, what's it called? The Favorite. And it was for Fox. And I had one line, but I had my own trailer with my name on the trailer, and it was like, Miss Mannen, would you like some tea? Miss Mannen, can we get you anything? I was like, oh my goodness, Miss Mannen or cattle? I like Miss Mannen better. So that's when in the height of my dance career, I stopped dancing because I didn't like the blatant disrespect that dancers were given.
Wow. So even though you never had a really bad experience working with people and stuff, that experience just kind of just turned you off because of the way dancers were treated.
Yes. And, in Hollywood, they had this saying, like, dancer, actress, model, whatever. We were at the lowest end of the totem pole. No respect. No respect. I remember I was with the agency William Morris, and I stayed with them because of the respect factor. So the minute I would meet somebody, and they'd go like, oh, what do you do? I said, I'm an actress, model, and a dancer. And like, oh, okay, who's your agent? William Morris? Oh, okay. Okay, so you're real. Oh, it's sad, but do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That they to hold on just because of, the credibility part, even though it wasn't a good fit for me anymore, but I stayed with them for 10 years because of the credibility factor.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Wow. So do you have anything you're planning on or working with after quarantine ends?
Well, right now I'm working on my show, Tell Me Your Story. That's on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Working on that. I'm so excited about that. And it started with just what I was talking about, the blatant disrespect about dancers, but also, I went through it myself. I got sick in 2009, and I couldn't work for 3 years. And, in Hollywood, being gone for 3 years, you're a dinosaur. And it was like, who? And I went from hot to not just like that. And the same thing with a lot of these dancers. They're amazing dancers that here we are now, and a lot of these dancers paved the way for all of us and past us, and they don't even know they exist. So it started for me that I wanted to do this show called Tell Me Your Story, Life After Dance. And I wanted to put the sunshine on these dancers, like these dancers paved the way for you. And one of them was Paula Kelly. Mm-hmm. Paula Kelly is the first woman of color that was on television. She was Bob Fosse's favorite dancer. He said that's the best dancer ever, hands down. And I had invited her, and she was like, every time I would bump into Monique, when are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? Because a lot of dancers don't even know who Paula Kelly is. And when she just passed away, it just broke my heart. And I was like, you know what? I promised her that I was going to put her on film. So that got me in gear during this pandemic to get that going and get that started. So I spoke with Ken Page. Ken Page is like a major Broadway legend. Mm-hmm. The Lion in the Wiz, Cats, name it, Amy's Behavin', he's done it.
The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, he's amazing. And so we're going to work on doing a celebration of life for her because she deserves it so much. And so, but that tragedy is what got me in gear. And remember that movie I told you about, Every Little Step?
Yes.
That movie got me insecure about doing what I want to do because I was like, oh my God, they did it so well. They did it so well. And I'm so passionate that I wanted to do justice to these dancers. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to do it rinky dinky because I don't have the budget that Every Little Step had. So I kept putting it off. And then with Paula Kelly passing, it got my butt off my seat and got into gear and get this going. So I've been interviewing quite a lot of lovely people or Tell Me Your Story and put the sunshine on them. And my goodness, when I'm talking to them, I have no idea all the other stuff they have done and the people they have worked with. It's like, it's historic. It's like, wow. And people don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, same thing here with this podcast that I'm doing, I mean, talk about, everyone's journey and stuff. Everyone's just got incredible stories, especially in show business, because I always wondered what happened to certain people that just at a certain point they stopped working, and when I found out what happened, I could not believe it. It was so sad and profound, but it's got there's a lot of happy endings there.
Yeah, yeah. So then I became a member of Filmmakers Alliance because I was like, okay, I just don't want to just be an actor, a dancer. I want to start producing. So I started producing plays. Mm-hmm. And I did a lot when I was a member of Filmmakers Alliance because part of the membership is that you help your other members with their projects. I've done from production assistant to everything to assisting the line producer. And then I had an internship with Bill Duke.
I love Bill Duke.
Yes, he's amazing. He was amazing. And I made a deal with him. I met him at a dinner party, and my friend introduced us. He's like, "Oh, Monique, she's an actress," and he was like, "Oh, hello." And then he just turned his back because he was not impressed, right? And then she said, "Yeah, but she also produced plays." And he was like, "Oh," and then he started talking to me, and then later on I realized why he did that because he really is so strongly about this. People should not just do one thing. You just can't be just an actor. You have to produce. You have to write. You have to act. You have to do more than one thing in this town. And so he's very adamant about that. And so I learned so much from him. So I produced and starred in a short 27-minute film that was in a film festival. And then I got sick. and then that happened. And I remember I went back on my first audition and I got introduced to this natural new science. And it's, after try this, try that, herbalist, acupuncturist, pharmaceutical medicine. I tried everything for 3 years, wound up in a hospital because one of the try gave me an allergic reaction. And they put me in steroids on a drip system and sent me home with a 10-day pill supply of steroids with steroid cream and gained 2 sizes. And that's when I really was like on my lowest. Because, when you went from always working and like I told you, sometimes would just give it to me on a silver platter. And then all of a sudden they don't want you, I couldn't even get an audition. That was a very humbling time. And that was the time I really worked on me. And I really realized that we really grew up. Mm-hmm. Mid I start dancing, it's about the gig, getting the gig, the price. So you constantly go through your career. Hi, you got the gig. No, you didn't get it. Oh, hi, you got the gig. And of course, the no, you didn't get the gig was more than you got the gig, right?
Right.
And then I realized it's like, okay, a gig doesn't define me. It doesn't define me. It doesn't. And I realized that's all I live my life for is for the gig, for the gig, for the gig. And then when that was taken away, I kind of felt lost. I was like, well, who am I then? And so I worked on me, worked on myself, did some really soul searching, and have a simple way of living now that if it doesn't make me smile, I don't want it. And I'm talking about food, people, surrounding, whatever.
Same here.
Smile, no thank you. And so I remember I got better and I went to In the Middle. Remember the TV show In the Middle? And
I remember Malcolm in the Middle.
No, but then they did In the Middle, after Malcolm in the Middle, and they just called it In the Middle. And with Patricia Heaton, I think, was the lead in it, and the kid.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it was just called The Middle or whatever. And had 20 women there, and it was for under 5 lines. They needed 5 women. And I'm telling you, every woman in that room, I've seen their work, great actors. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Why do we have to go through a callback for this? They can just be blindfolded, circle around, and just point 5 people, and they would have 5 great choices, right? And I'm sitting there going like, this is not making me smile. And I was getting very about it, and also the realization that I had to start all over because here I'm back at under 5 lines. And I literally got out, called my agent, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm good. This is not making me smile.
Wow. Yeah, the same thing happened to me. After I came back from my accident, I said to myself, I'm not going to do things that I don't want to do. I am done with it. I took a lot of shit from so many people I worked for before my accident, and I'm just done with it, and a lot of people, can mistake that for arrogance or entitlement or what have you. It's like it's not,
It's choosing you. You choosing you. There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly, I always say there's a difference between laws and rules. Laws you do have to abide because otherwise, it could be fatal consequences there. But with rules, you don't have to. You don't have to. You can make your own rules.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So here I am now. I got a call from a gentleman. He was doing a web series called Giants.
Mm-hmm.
It was on his second season, and he called me. He was like, I got a role for you. I want you to play my mom. It'll be my honor. And I'm like, no, I don't act right now. Thank you, but thank you. He called me back 3-4 times, and I finally said yes in the best position. So I wound up doing that and a couple years ago, and it got 11 Emmy nominations last year.
Wonderful.
And it got sold to a network. So by again, somebody calling me and giving me a gig, that's how I got back in. But I'm not like, oh God, I got to go to an audition. No. Oh no, I'm good. Because, Hollywood has changed even more than when you left.
Yeah.
Now they have casting directors that you have to pay them to be seen because you got to do a workshop with them before you even get on their list to be seen. It's just so ridiculous.
It is. Yeah. I think after this quarantine, though, something's going to happen. The business is going to change again.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I really didn't like what was happening, and I really didn't like that. I was like, when I started out, casting directors, producers, just like Vincent came to see me in a play. They would go to see actors in play. They loved the whole process of finding new talent, and that has disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's about how many followers do you have? How popular are you?
Yeah, it's stupid. Really stupid. And stand-up comedians go through that as well. It's just, it's really dumb. Hopefully it's going to change somehow. I mean, my goal is to try to do the old model and influence other people to do it that way and bring kindness back into it.
Yeah. And that's why I don't understand talents that start tripping and start believing the hype. And I'm like, do you know how much talent is out there?
Yeah.
Come on, get over yourself.
Yeah, that will always be there, unfortunately.
There's so much talent out there. There's so much talent out there that nobody ever even heard of. But there's so much talent out there. It's not even. You can see it on the right now. People singing, nurses singing, doctors singing. I'm like, whoa, what a voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of talent out there. And also people don't realize too, talent is subjective. I mean, some people think this person's not talented or this person is talented, while other people think the contrary as well. It's an interesting part of life, I think.
Yeah, and also, another thing, what was going on in my life is that I was horrendous at auditions, absolutely horrendous. I'm really blessed that I had people that, like Jackie Birch, that knew that I would just get so fearful of auditions, and she knew what to do. She was like, you know what, she's going to just blow it at the audition. Let me just let her go and meet them.
Yeah. Show them your sparkling personality.
Well, the thing is, because I have, you can hear a little accent then, but at that time, my accent was really strong. So I was working on my speech, and then also, so the whole time when I'm auditioning, I'm worried about, okay, I don't want to be found out. Oh, God. So you cannot be in an audition and have all this chatter going on in your mind while you're supposed to be focused on the role, and on your choices. And so I would always a lot of times I would fall flat on my auditions.
Mm-hmm. Well, the whole key to winning someone over in an audition is, show them that you can get along with other people to work with.
Right. So the job, like you said, the job that I did get was because of my personality too. Because they I remember I had one job. Oh my God, I got that because I told them a joke about Costco. He fell out of the chair. I told him a joke.
Really? It's funny because a lot of these people don't have a sense of humor.
Right.
They take offense to certain things. I've heard stories, about people losing their sitcom because they made a joke at the executive's expense, and he got offended by it.
Oh gosh, come in. Let's lighten up. Life is too short. I mean, I really hope to God that people come out of it just not taking it all so serious and just living life and just do things that make them smile. Because life, tomorrow's not promised to nobody.
Yeah, nobody.
Yeah. And so moving forward now, I remember I got introduced to this all natural science, right? So fostering the business. So that's what I do now. So I'm a health advocate, and especially because I was given this darn steroid in pill form and in my drip system. I was like, you know what? There got to be a better way than that. So I'm really educating people that, do your due diligence. Know what you're putting in your body, because you can cause more harm than good a lot of the time. And really empower yourself that you are in control of your body, that you know when you put something in your body, like, that didn't feel too right, then question your doctor. Why are you giving me this? This is not feeling right. And do your research, because now there is a way that naturally your body has an ability to heal itself. And people just need to know about that. So that's what it's my passion and purpose. I remember I went to an event and my agent called me. He said, Monique, I know you don't want to do this anymore, but this is a great role as a lead in this film, blah, blah, blah. And I literally stopped for a minute. I have to be honest with you. It was a minute like, And then I was like, no, I'm good. And I said, no. And then my husband was like, are you sure? I said, no, because it's not my passion and purpose anymore. Me helping people change their life and health, that's my passion and purpose right now. That brings me joy right now.
Ah, that is beautiful, Monique. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. I'm having the time of my life, man. I really am. I'm very blessed. I know it, and I know how blessed I am, so I thank God every freaking day. And yes, I'm being very careful with my words, and I'm a natural cursor, and I'm working on it. I have my daughter constantly going, Mom, really? Really? Do you have to say it like that? I'm like, and she's absolutely right.
That's awesome.
So don't think that I'm such a goody two-shoe. Trust me, I'm not.
Well, it's funny you bring that up because it's time to play my secret silly game.
Okay, what is that?
Okay, this is a series of silly slumber party questions. Slightly risque, but not really. And how this works is I ask you the question, you answer it, and then you ask me the exact same question and I answer it.
Okay.
Monique, are you ticklish?
Yes. Tommy, are you ticklish?
Oh, I am baby ticklish, I tell you.
You're maybe?
I am baby ticklish.
Baby ticklish, okay.
Yeah. Is your belly button an innie or an outie?
Outie.
Really?
It's like half. No, it's half. It's like half. It's innie outie. It's an innie outie.
Nice.
And is yours an in or out belly button, Tommy?
I also have an outie.
Oh, you do?
Yes. That's why I was surprised. Oh my God, I told that to a black woman once and she was like, are you half black? And I was like, no. And she's like, I've only known black men to have outie belly buttons.
Really?
Yeah.
No, that's the first one I heard that one.
Yeah. Well, she's my age. She's young.
Okay.
What color are your toenails painted?
There's no color on it right now. We're in quarantine, baby.
Yeah.
What color is your toenails painted?
Same, all natural. Once spring happens, or summer happens, I should say, because it is spring, I want to do something very elaborate, because last time they were painted in September, they were purple with sparkles.
Oh, fun. And why? What made you decide to do that?
So I've been painting my toenails since I was 13. I'm openly bisexual, and I think that when I paint my toenails, that's kind of my way of wearing it on my sleeve. I've always been attracted to it. I mean, I grew up spending a lot of time with my mother, my grandmother, and all my female cousins, and I've always been like one of the girls.
Right. Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
What would you say? What would you say is your best personality trait?
My great sense of humor. I love life.
Yes, I would agree. And then you ask me?
What is your greatest trait in your personality?
My sense of empathy and the fact that I have no filter.
You know what? I am that too.
Yeah.
I'm working on that.
Uh-huh.
I'm working on that. I see my husband cringe all the time. It's like, did you really have to say that? So they asked me. Reuben Cannon, the casting director, he had waiting in line for a restaurant to be seated at this place called Crustacean. Oh my God, the best crab and the best garlic noodles. And he went up to me and he was like, his wife is from Suriname like me, and that's why we have such a connection because of that.
Yeah.
And at that time, he was working with Tyler Perry. He was co-producing all Tyler Perry's movies and shows. And he was like, "Oh, have you seen the new movie?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, not my cup of tea. I'm really sorry because I thought it was mean-spirited. You know, the married one, the one about the couple. I thought it was so mean-spirited. I really did, and it just really was like, you know, when the husband was being so mean to her, to Jill Scott's character in the movie, and I was like, no, I'm sorry, I didn't like that. And my husband was like, why did you say that to him like that? I said, well, he asked me.
And then my
I said, oh, I lost it. I'm like, I didn't.
Yeah. And then my favorite question, is there a stinky smell that just makes you gag?
Throw up.
That's a popular one. Yeah.
Is there a stinky smell that makes you gag?
Farts or feet?
Fart or feet?
Yes.
Who have you been hanging out with stinky feet?
Oh, I went on a date with a girl once who had stinky feet. I think her breath was bad. She may have been a crystal meth addict in hindsight. I don't know.
Oh, because it goes in your pores.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
When I was a kid, my parents had a friend who was on that shit, and I smelled it all the time, so I know what a meth addict smells like.
Oh, gosh. Poor thing. Oh, gosh. Yeah, you are what you eat, right? What you put in your body, it will come out, and in not a good way.
Exactly, yes. And I've talked to a lot of people who have kids who say that farts and feet don't affect them.
No. You know, the dog farts, those can get dangerous, especially when you're on a road trip with a dog in the car. That is kind of scary sometimes.
Or cats. I have a cat, so.
I had a big dog, and boy, he could go to town, and when we go on road trips too, I'm like in a closed car. I'm like, oh, really? Did you have to do that? Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I've smelled some pretty bad ones.
I know.
I this one guest of mine, she said that should be the name of your memoir, Farts and Feet.
Oh, wow. I have a friend of mine that she would not. She would like, no. It would like, she rather would kill herself than fart in front of somebody.
Yeah.
I've never heard, seen, smelled her fart. Never, ever.
Make the smoke alarms go off.
And to me, it's like, how can you not? It's human. You know, sometimes shit happens. It happens. You know?
Oh, my God. Well, Monique, this has been a lot of fun. I thank you so much for coming on.
Amy, it was so much fun. Thank you for having me go on my nostalgia trip. And this is awesome. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, and you're always welcome to come back on to talk about anything new that you got in the future. I just hope after this quarantine ends, you'll be working a lot more, and that project you were telling me about will be very successful.
Oh, thanks so much. Well, you know, because I certainly hope that, because all these people deserve to tell their story and be heard. Absolutely, and get the light shine on them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Have yourself a great night, and stay safe.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. Monique Mannen. Ain't she a sweetheart? What a great lady. And she's been through a lot. Perseverance. You know, everyone out there everyone out there knows I love that word, perseverance. Great lady. I enjoyed talking to her. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes.